Yo, big up yourselves, welcome back to the channel. It's just a quick video today just to show you a few tips and tricks that we've done on this rewire this week. So I've been doing the rewire on my own. It's the first one I've ever had to do on my own because we used to have Scotty or I've borrowed other lads, but yeah, I've been on my own. It's gone quite well. Let's get in there and show you what I want to show you. But while I'm on the way in, run-a-ting. So the first thing I want to show you is the garage. I think I over-ordered the cable. Yeah, boy. So from here, this is where the existing fuse board was. This is where our mains enters the building. So I've pulled this through, 16mm twin with a 16mm earth, and that goes across through the building, and this is the location of the new board. So they're going to have a door on here, plastered in there. This is going to remain as a garage. There is plans in the future to knock through into the kitchen, which will be nice. But yeah, moved it all through to here. So here's our mains coming in, and then we've got all our cables through to the property. We've got downstairs radial, upstairs radial, and kitchen ring. We've then got cooker circuit, upstairs lights, downstairs lights, smoke alarms, and garage lights. So we've still got a few bits to do in here. I've got this light switch to chop in. So on here, we've got 2 3-cores because the customer wants downstairs and upstairs 2-wayed from up and down. We've got a feed out to our spots, which I've cut in here. I've got a spotlight there, that one's a smoke alarm, spotlight there, and a spotlight there. So above here is a tiled floor for the bathroom, so I've had to do it from down here, and I've done it by just making that one hole there because I can fish this way, and then I've had to come through that joist to get to this spot. Going into the front room, we've got centre light, we've got sockets, we've got switches. That's a switch for an outside light. Basically it goes back up under the floor, round, and then out in the centre there for a floodlight, so they can override it if they're ever sat out there. We've then got sockets on this wall. We've got wall lights. So this one is going to be a 2-gang switch for centre light and wall lights. We've then got 2 doubles down there. This is where the router and everything's going to go, which is why we have 4 Ethernet cables coming down. So we've got one to the telly down here, one to the PlayStation or whatever, one up to the loft, and one to the office room. Other side of the room, on the chimney breast, we've got a double socket for a TV. We're then going to put a brush plate over this. So we've got an Ethernet cable for wired internet, we've got a coax point for Freeview, and then we're going to have 2 HDMI leads which run up through the ceiling and then back down the wall here with another Ethernet cable for internet there. So the reason I'm not doing Cat5 over HDMI is because the customer said he's got a PS5 which needs, for the best picture and audio, a 2.1 HDMI lead. So that'll be fed in through there. We'll probably get one 2.1 and one normal HDMI lead because of the price of them. They're quite expensive lead. So these have still got to be chopped in. If you've noticed, all the existing power's still on, so we're nearly finished. There's just a few more chops where I've got to disconnect the power and then cut above, because if I'd have cut that, I'd have gone straight through the cable. So first little tip, hint, trick, thing I wanted to show you was here. So from here, no, it's not from here, it's from the landing switch. So in here we've got a switch wire which goes out to an outside light. Now, if you can see this ceiling here, it was a nightmare to get anywhere to. They're keeping the kitchen, we are trunking in there, and the existing light is here on this wall. So what we've had to do is move it over to this wall because we can get to that without much damage, and then we're going to bring it down here and through that hole there. Now, a lot of people don't know. If you're an electrician, you might know. If you're not, this is also a zone. So 150mm off the corners, well, the sides, right the way around. So you've got 150mm there, 150mm there, and obviously vertical and horizontal from socket points. So in our 150 zone, we're going to chop that out. We're going to get it through the wall, and that gets us a safe zone for our outside light. Because all cables need to be in zones, kids. That's right. So when your kitchen fitter put your cooker like that, tell him it's not right. Yeah, it's got to be vertical, horizontal, 150 from the edges. Next thing I wanted to show you is just how good I am. Yeah, I'm a plumber as well now. I've took that rod off, chopped behind, up to the switch. Nice. Ollie with the big bunders here, yeah? Overboarding the ceiling in here. And also, Jack chopped the socket in. Chopped a socket in there and a socket in there. Just ignore the angle on that leak. Still in the zone, don't worry. 2 sockets there, light switch there. Jack chopped them in. Ollie comes along, takes all the plaster off. I didn't need to chop them in. It's in now, ain't it, all? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now in these bedrooms, we have got off quite lightly. So on here, this is the next thing I wanted to show you. On stud walls, I'll put you down. So on stud walls like this, we know we've got timbers everywhere. So if we're putting a double socket on, single socket, anything really, we can put our stud buddy up. We can find where our uprights are. We can then cut our box in. And if we make a little hole like that down here, easy enough to fill. Anything's easy for him to fill, to be fair, but if you have to fill it yourself, bit of timber, put the board back in, bit of easy fill over the top. We don't do that here though, because I've messed with filling that much, I end up raking it all out. So there you go. So then drill down and we are under the floorboards then. So we don't have to damage all the wall. We can put the socket on if we wanted to, second fix it. There's no damage around the box, it just needs that patching up. So the route I've took for the loft Ethernet cable, I've come up, this is the one in the office, so we've got one coming out there and the next one continues straight through the box. Straight through the box and up into the loft. If we wire in Ethernet, we always try to wire one in the loft. That's just in case they need boosters, APs, anything like that on the ceilings, or if they have DVRs or anything into the loft for cameras, you know, we put them in the loft. I think it's the easiest place for them to go. So there's already a network point up there. You can just plug that in, put a switch up there, whatever you need to do, and you've got internet. The next thing, same again with the light switches on stud walls. I did it a joist there, so we've had to hire it a little bit. So again, chopped the top out, just gone straight over the wood there. That can be banded to the wood and then filled over. But again, we've got no damage on the wall, which is awesome. This one already had a socket underneath. We've took that out and we've managed to get up the existing hole and to the socket there, and back to back, we've got another one on this wall here. How good am I getting with that chasing tool? Look at that. That's all done with the Metabo chasing tool. The skirting was on when I did it, that's why there's no plastic there, but it doesn't matter. They've took it off since for Ollie to plaster. But look at that. So basically I've run across the top with the Metabo, across the bottom, and then chopped out in between. And it looks mint really. Some of them are neater than others, but that's absolutely sound. That is a bit of fill around that, or a bit of plaster, and it's nice, ready to go. And they're all like that, to be fair to me. They're all fairly neat in this one. Again, this is a stud wall, so we've got our little cut at the bottom and our cut at the top. Also, because there's the stud work walls, those are the routes that we've took straight up to the loft for power. So I took a 2.5 up there for loft power and boiler. So if you can see that little brown cupboard there, the boiler's getting moved into there. So what I'm going to do, I'll put a double socket up in the loft so they've got some power, spur for the lights, or take a lighting feed up there, it don't really matter. And then come down into the boiler, spur in that cupboard there. But we've come up straight behind the boxes. You're still in the zone of the wall. Not that the zone really matters if it's deeper than 50mm, but we're in that zone, we're straight up into the loft, and it's easy to get power through. So another thing we've got left to do is the bathroom spots. Now in here, the ceiling is getting overboarded. So all I've done is took a feed from the switch up a switch wire, left it coiled up above, and then when the ceiling's boarded and plastered, I can get the stud buddy up, get it measured, get it drilled, get the spots in, we are good. I did think the same was happening with the ceiling in the landing, but it's not. So what I'm going to do, I have done the same thing. I've come off that switch, left a switch wire above, and also left a smoke alarm cable. So I'll do that with you today, measure it out. The ceiling, the loft above is boarded here, but what we can do is fish down the joists and get our cables to where we want them. So I'll get the stud buddy out in a bit, mark up where all the joists are, get our spots measured out. We're probably going to have 1, 2, 3, and one just over the stairs there, 4, which is going to look mint because here we've got the loft hatch, so we can't have one there. And then every other room has got pendants, which is awesome. So we've got a pendant in here, pendant in the other 2 bedrooms. We've got spots on the landing, spots downstairs, and spots in the bathroom. We've got a centre light in the kitchen, but we'll now go in the kitchen and I'll show you what the plan is in there. So in here, we've got a centre light. We've got a light switch dropping down there. So in here we're going to be doing trunking because they're keeping the kitchen for now. They've got tiles and things like that. So for the less damage, we're just going to do trunking. As you can see there, we've got 2 legs of the ring and a 6mm for the cooker. So what we're going to do is trunk down onto the top of the unit. We'll come across the units and down into this tower unit for the oven switch, and that will go in that cupboard and then feed down into our double oven. This is knackered, so I think they're going to be getting a new one for that. Now with the ring, there's a socket on here which does the extractor fan, so we'll come across again to the socket with our one leg. We'll drop down and we'll put a double socket on a pattress there, and then we'll carry on down and put a socket under the sink area here for the washing machine if they have one there, and the gas hob ignition. So they'll go under there. Bit of trunking down there, bit of trunking up there, maybe some trunking across here, not sure yet. And the only other thing in here is a double socket for the fridge freezer. So again, we'll just trunk straight down and put it behind for now. That will be fine. These ones are going to be getting rid of, and obviously the light has been centralised into the middle. Look at the start of that ceiling, wavy. Ollie did that before he came, I reckon. The next thing we've got to do once the power is off is a single socket here on this little bit of wall. This is in the hallway again. We know that the floor above is tiled. So what we're going to do, we've got a double socket just that side of the wall. We're going to drill on an angle through into the centre, cut our box in and get it in that way. The power's still onto this, so I can't do it just yet, but when I've turned it off, we'll get it on then. He's just trying to get in with the boards.
One board.
Banter. So just one more thing to show you before we get grafting. On these chops downstairs, we've come up and there is a joist tight to the wall here. So what I've done is broke a hole just in front of the joist, chopped the board out, and then the cable sits just flush on top of the joist, and then they can fill over that. Same again here. We've come down through and over the joist and then drops down to our socket. So next thing I'm going to do, which I can start chopping then, is kill all the power in here. Sadly we're not going to have any lights, but it needs to be done. So I'll kill all the power to the whole property. The only thing I'm going to leave on is the supply to the oven. So we've got a single socket in there. If anyone wants to work off it, no one's going to be ripping this room apart. No one's going to be touching that cable. So I can leave that on. It just saves me tempering the board up when Ollie's got a plaster and board in that little cupboard. So we'll leave that on. We'll get an extension lead dragged over to keep the fridge running because we need our prime cooled, yeah? Cans of pop, all that ting. So we'll keep that on. Everything else can be killed and cut out. So I've got a chop to do in the hallway for that single socket. I've got the light switch to do in the hallway and the light switch to do in the lounge. And then I've got a double socket and a single box for our outlets of our internet and HDMI leads in the lounge. So I'll get the power killed now, get a lead set up for the fridge, and then I can start chopping. So just before I chop these out, I wanted to show you what I meant with the chaser. So single box on the right, 2 doubles on the left. So do a run at the top, run at the bottom, and then just chop those out with the SDS. You can do a run in the middle, but my hoover's terrible. So it'll just make loads and loads of dust. And then we've done a chase straight the way up. All I've got to do is chop the tops out where they touch the ceiling because you can't get the chaser that far up. And then again, I'm going to have to just multi-tool a slot out of both to tuck them under the joist and down. So yeah, that's another chop done. So these will be in a minute. I'll get these chopped out with the SDS, get the boxes fixed back, get the oval on. They're done. I've just got light switch in there, and I'm going to drill through on an angle, like I said, to a socket over here. Bash! So here's where we're at now. I've moved the socket over to this wall because I drilled through and it was just smashing that wall up. So the whole thing, the corner, everything had come off if I'd have chopped there. So I've moved it to there and put a double in. I've put the light switch in here. I haven't used oval or anything on this because there was 5 cables, and rather than do 2 chops, I've just done 1 and all banded it into the wall because we don't need oval, we don't need capping, we just use it because it's easier. But yeah, that is a triple switch, so downstairs, upstairs and outside light override. All this is done in here. I've chopped down to a single box with that'll have a brush plate on, that's for our internet. The 2 doubles are done, and what I've done is popped out the side of that box and just drilled straight through and back entered it into that double socket that we saw. That's done. The light switch straight up there, that's all done. Over here, I've left the left-hand side for the single, and I've left the single there. That's because I've got to order the 2 HD leads, so they'll drop in. Ollie's going to leave a little patch out for me in the ceiling because he's overboarding this one, so that I can get access. So what I've got to do now is go around everywhere, strip all the old electrics out. I have turned everything off, and temporary power is coming out of that switch there, like I said. Nice. There's not many nices in this video because everyone was moaning last time. We'll still have a few, you know what I mean? I've got to take off the electrics up here. These are the last 2 up here, to be fair, the smoke and the pendant there. And then I was going to do the spots in the landing and get them finished, but I've got to shoot off to Birmingham to get something for Zoe for her photography. So I've got to shoot over there, but everything's done. Everything is nice. Another one there for you. Yeah, as you can see, Ollie's already overboarded the ceiling, dabbed the 2 walls that needed dabbing. What a guy. Oh, he started filling as well. He's on it, eh? Hey, go on. One thing I've got to do, because he shouted at me, go, I've done that. So I've got to cut out a bit of the ceiling there and just strap it to that wood there. I'm going to get that done. I did ask him if he could do it, but he won't. So that's going to be it for this video. Just a little short and sweet one just to show you what I've been up to this week. This will be out today. It is actually today. It's Friday, the 13th. Friday the 13th. Jeez. But yeah, this will be out tonight. I just wanted to show you, and I just wanted a few big ups off you because first Rewire I've done on my own. I haven't done too bad. It's been hard work, but we got there. So yeah, big up yourselves. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a little like, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Big up everybody. See you later. Ta-ra.